Welcome to Movie Recaps with Brian. Subscribe below for daily recaps. Today, we're recapping Crazy Stupid Love, directed by Glenn Ficarra and John Requa. Cal Weaver, played by Steve Carell, is a seemingly content middle-aged man with a steady job, a nice house, and a decades-long marriage to his high school sweetheart, Emily, played by Julianne Moore. But Cal's world is shattered when, during a quiet dinner to celebrate their anniversary, Emily abruptly announces that she wants a divorce and confesses to having an affair with her co-worker David Lindhagen, played by Kevin Bacon. Devastated and stunned, Cal barely responds, and then, in a moment of emotional overwhelm, silently opens the car door and rolls out onto the street mid-drive, unable to process the betrayal. Now living alone in a small, sparsely furnished apartment, Cal becomes despondent and withdrawn. He begins spending his nights drinking alone at an upscale bar, loudly talking to anyone who will listen about his wife's infidelity. His misery becomes a spectacle, drawing the attention of Jacob Palmer, played by Ryan Gosling, a suave, confident young womanizer who frequents the same bar. Amused by Cal's awkwardness and touched by his obvious heartbreak, Jacob offers to help him regain his manhood and get back into the dating scene. Jacob gives Cal a complete physical and social makeover, stylish clothes, a new haircut, and lessons in confidence, charm, and seduction. At first, Cal is reluctant and fumbles with Jacob's strategies, but soon he manages to seduce Kate, played by Marisa Tomei, a spirited, emotionally intense woman he meets at the bar. This first successful encounter unlocks a new side of Cal, and he begins sleeping with several women, including a teacher and a yoga instructor. He starts to feel empowered, although a part of him still longs for Emily. Meanwhile, Jacob's usual game is disrupted when he meets Hannah, played by Emma Stone, a smart, sassy law student who initially rebuffs his advances. She has a serious boyfriend, Richard, played by Josh Groban, and is focused on her career. But when Richard fails to propose and instead offers her a job at his law firm, Hannah feels betrayed and undervalued. On impulse, she returns to the bar, finds Jacob, and kisses him passionately. Instead of a one-night stand, their night together evolves into something genuine. They talk for hours, laugh, and connect on a deep emotional level. Jacob, for the first time, feels vulnerable and starts falling in love. Back in Cal's world, complications mount. At a parent-teacher conference for their son, Robbie, played by Jonah Bobo, Cal and Emily share a moment of warmth, with Emily clearly noticing his confident new look. However, the pleasant moment is shattered when Robbie's teacher turns out to be Kate, who, still angry that Cal never called her again, publicly exposes their affair. Emily is hurt and disgusted, especially when she learns Cal has slept with 9 women since they split. She storms off, and Cal is left to reflect on how far he's strayed from the man he used to be. Meanwhile, young Robbie is hopelessly in love with his 17-year-old babysitter, Jessica, played by Annalee Tipton, who tries to let him down gently. Jessica, however, harbors her own secret crush on Cal, and in a misguided attempt to win his affection, she takes nude photographs of herself. She plans to give them to Cal, but they are accidentally discovered by her mother, who assumes the worst. Jacob, now in a serious relationship with Hannah, reaches out to Cal for advice on how to be a good boyfriend and navigate his feelings. The two meet for lunch, and Cal is surprised and initially pleased by Jacob's transformation. However, everything comes to a head when Jacob brings Hannah to meet Cal and Emily, and it's revealed that Hannah is Cal and Emily's oldest daughter, born when they were teens. Cal is furious and forbids Jacob from seeing her, unable to reconcile his knowledge of Jacob's past with his daughter's future. As tensions mount, Jessica's parents, mistakenly believing Cal has seduced their daughter, storm over to confront him. Jessica follows in an effort to explain the misunderstanding. Simultaneously, David Lindhagen arrives to return a sweater Emily left at his place, sparking Cal's jealousy. What ensues is a chaotic backyard confrontation involving Cal, Jacob, David, Bernie, Cal's former best friend and Jessica's father, and Jessica, culminating in a wild brawl that ends with the police breaking it up. In the aftermath, Cal is estranged from his wife, disapproving of Jacob's relationship with Hannah, and emotionally distant from Robbie. But Jacob begins bonding with the family and proves his sincerity by sticking with Hannah and showing her genuine affection. At Robbie's 8th grade graduation, the boy gives a grim, cynical speech about love being a lie. Cal, watching from the audience, interrupts. He steps onto the stage and delivers an impromptu speech of his own, recounting how he fell in love with Emily in 8th grade and how he continues to love her despite everything. He tells the audience that love is messy, imperfect, and painful, but still worth fighting for. Cal's words rekindle hope in Robbie, who reaffirms his feelings for Jessica in front of everyone. After the ceremony, Cal makes peace with Jacob and finally gives his blessing to him and Hannah. Jessica gives Robbie an envelope with the nude photos she once intended for Cal, telling him to open them when he's older, a gesture meant to cheer him up, though awkwardly misguided. The film ends on a hopeful note, with Cal and Emily sitting together, talking and laughing, uncertain about the future, but clearly still deeply connected. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe below to watch more movie recaps with Brian. Comment below which movie you'd like to see recapped next.